I said, please show up. Because you can get some real dorks.
Yeah.
I want you to know that about this business. That they're not all Joe Falzones.
I was saying, like, it's the 10% factor wherever you go in whatever industry you're in, you know. And then someone gets it's 10%. Like,
And then where's the air supply? Would that be right here? The APU is right there.
APU's right here.
All right.
That's actually the electric, so the APU is telling you that it's supplying the electricity to the airplane.
All right.
But this is actually the pneumatic button, so that's supplying the air right now, but it'll also supply the air to start the engines later on.
And then why, it seems like every time when the, or for every airplane, like right when about the engine to start, that you guys turn off the APU.
Yes,
or the air.
Because it can't. Because it can't supply both at the same time.
Okay.
So you need to. And here's the air conditioning, right? So that's the air conditioning. So we would shut that off.
Okay.
All right, and then that would all the air that the APU is producing will be used to start the engine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for every airplane out there.
And then number 2 engine is the
right side.
Yeah, the right side is the engine that you guys usually start for more air supply. Because number 1 engine doesn't usually help out the air supply.
Well, yeah. Interestingly enough, you're sort of right. But it's not the engine so much as it's the air conditioning unit.
Okay.
So the right air conditioning unit will feed most of the cabin.
Okay.
And the left air conditioning unit will feed partially the cockpit and the cabin as well. So.
All right.
But depending on how selfish we are, sometimes, see, like today, we're running the left pack.
Okay.
That means we're getting more airflow up there.
Yeah. Nice.
We don't care about you paying passengers.
Is the hydraulic system on?
No, it's not.
Can I do the spoilers?
Yeah, sure, man.
All right, cool.
Okay, so up and then up again.
Up.
Oh,
there you go.
Like
that. Okay.
Now you can press them forward.
Yep, and then they go around.
Yep.
And then that's the configuration take. You're not in configuration for takeoff. Warning.
You say,
I'm gonna go back and sleep. You can be right.
we're like, wait.
And I'm gonna miss these things when these things leave.
About a year.
24 months.
Yeah, it's.
And we are too, but.
Yeah. So, what aircraft do you think you're going to be switching to?
I'm going on the MD-90, 80.
Are you do the MD-80?
Well,
same thing.
It gets both.
Yeah. Well, the MD-90 has different engines. They like to brake a lot. Because my friend's dad is a mechanic for Delta, and he says MD-90s brake all the time.
Well, then that's the airplane I want to be on. You don't have to fly as much.
Yeah.
You're sitting.
Right.
See, at some point, Jonah, you just don't want to fly anymore. You know, no, I'm just kidding.
Can I do the thrust?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's the test.
Yep.
The test, and I'll let you know that the takeoff warning. So, the takeoff warning is so you got trim in the green band.
Yep.
And the reason that's going off now is because we don't have the flaps and slats out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you put down the flaps, the slats automatically come down, right?
Actually, it's a split, so you can actually split them, and you can put the flaps out without the slats.
Okay.
But it's not a normal configuration.
Got it.
That would be an emergency.
Okay.
But yeah, normally right now, since they're tied together, the minute you go to flaps, you're getting the slats out.
Okay. And then we have a full flight today, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to probably use 30 left for runway then.
Is that the long one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And also, because it's only a 49-minute flight, we're not necessarily tied to a long runway because we don't have that much fuel. Only 19,000 pounds.
All right.
If we were doing a full airplane in a longer flight, we'd be at like 24,000 pounds. And then you may consider, like right now, our takeoff gross weight right here is 112,000 pounds.
Okay.
So you could very, very easily take off on a shorter runway.
Okay.
So not 108, not 110, but 112. And you see how the numbers are going up? 130.
Yep. V1 rotate, V2. Yeah.
And so we'll put something like that up. We don't know what the final is. That'll come across this.
Okay.
And then we'll adjust these numbers, and then we'll crank in those numbers right here. 134, 144. And that's a mark bug, that's the box, and 160 and 214. And you've already V1 rotate.
V1 rotate,
Yeah.
V2. So
And
what's
V1? His hand comes off of this.
Yep,
It's like
and then
we're going-
put on the yoke and then rotate, pull
Yeah.
back slowly.
Where do you get all this?
I've been studying since I was like 5.
You have a disease.
I told you I was in love with flying.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm not even going to try to reroute you.
And then to start the airplane is pretty much right here, right?
Yeah, so here's the start switch, right? So what happens then is you got the pneumatics, the air, we turn
Yep.
the pack off. That's the start switch.
Okay.
Okay, and then what we do is you start switch, and then we'll see the rotation of the engines.
Okay, yep.
Right? And then on or about 18% of N2, we'll throw the fuel to it, or Doug will, throws the fuel to it. Then we'll watch for fuel flow. It'll be about 800 pounds.
Okay.
And then next, your scan will go to the temperature because you don't want to overheat it. So first thing you look at is rotation. Once you get 18%, you throw the fuel to it.
Okay.
Then you look for fuel flow because it may be higher, but you're looking for about no more than 1100. And then your eyes will switch to this gauge. That's the EGT, the exhaust gauge temperature.
Okay.
Exhaust gas temperature. So, and then you want this no more than 550.
All right.
It'll climb, and then and then now you come back to this gauge, and Doug will at 35% release the starter switch.
Okay.
Okay, and then it'll climb to about 50 to 52% N2 at idle.
Okay.
And then that's a good start, and then you do the same procedure for the right engine.
Okay.
We always start the left one first. That's the Delta way. We used
Yeah.
to start the right one first.
Yeah, I know. And you know, back with Northwest was here, you guys used to do reversers on
Yeah.
backing up.
Power back, yeah.
Yeah.
Power out.
No, they just do it
Remember
to
that.
save
Costs so
fuel.
much gas.
Yeah.
While you guys have been talking, I just got a clearance over the A-cars. And here it is, and then
Is it an ILS clearance?
it's just a flight
IFR.
IFR.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so here's the transponder code is 3012, and I just put that into the transponder here.
Okay.
It's in standby, but when we start to roll, I'll take this to RATA, and that'll show up on the radar screen. So they just gave us our code, 3012, and then confirming our routing, which is Minneapolis, the Colt 3, down to Dells, Madison, and the Janesville 5 in
Okay.
O'Hare. And then they also confirmed that we're going to climb to 7,000 initially. So I crank in 7,000 and this code, and that's it.
Okay.
I've written down our departure frequency, which is 125.75. That's here. For right after we take off with tower, then they say just change to departure. Well, I already have that.
Frequency change approved is what they usually
Yep,
say?
yep.
Okay.
And off we go to the next guy, and then they hand us off all the way
Okay.
down. And we have one flying pilot. It'll probably be, the more mature. Joe. Kind of leaves it nebulous.
The big gray area, Jonah.
And then the other guy is running the radios and is called the pilot monitoring.
All right.
And you've probably seen that.
Yep.
along the way.
Yep.
God, you're way ridiculously ahead. I didn't know what a generator was when I started.
I know.